Okay, let's talk about everything. First things first, this video might be a little long. I have a lot to say.
Hi everyone, it's me again, and Squish Gang. And Squish Gang is present. I sing it now. Squish Gang is present, particularly festive with Nick the Santa Squish. However, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, slay secular celebration, or whatever you desire or you celebrate, if any at all. Because we are an inclusive environment here. And today we're going to talk about how Strangekevin responded to me on a little bit of like a quirky freestyle video, kind of just talking about these things real quick. This is likely the last video I'm going to put up before Christmas. And then I'll put up a couple more kind of proceeding a little bit. But we've gotten to the end of 2022. More or less. And I just want to thank everyone, the new subscribers, the old subscribers, the new people that are just stumbling by, that are just watching for this video, anybody who's here, I really appreciate it. And it's been a really incredible year for the channel and a really incredible year for my kind of time online. And I just wanted to thank everybody. Today we're going to be talking about kind of Strangekevin commenting on my video, what's been going on, and the response video that he made that was an hour long. And I'm just going to blow through it really quickly because you don't need to watch an hour-long video. I'm going to be honest here. Yeah, this is not scripted or anything. This is just kind of my thoughts. I wanted to kind of discuss these things a little bit more opinion-based because how I feel about it might not be popular. I haven't watched any other videos on it on purpose this time because I wanted to construct my own thoughts and feelings on it because Kevin commented on my video. So I wanted to come into it open-minded, I guess, to some extent. And I have mixed feelings. We're just going to be talking about the video today. No parts or anything. Nothing too complicated. So let's get right into it. So Kevin released this video a couple of days before I had actually put my video out. But it is because I had scripted it quite far in advance. So it hadn't actually been put out yet at the time of me doing it. I'm actually just going to double check right now the exact date that it was put out. 10 days ago. So December 11th. So yeah, I would say about 5-6 days before my video, but I scripted it quite far in advance. So because of finals and stuff, things were a little bit dicey. With this in mind, I had watched a couple of other videos closer to when I recorded it. However, they didn't mention this video either. When we're discussing this, Kevin has this hour-long video, okay, which is in quite a few sections. And if I read the sections right now, I have the chapters open here. It starts with DV videos, then there's a Discord server, then there's racial comments, and a section called the N-word specifically, transphobic content, It's Not Me, and then the women that had come out, Tepuki, Claudia, and then he discusses sexuality a little bit, and then Tanea, and closing words. So we're going to discuss each part of this as quickly as possible. So quickly getting into the DV videos, he says that his edgy humor has evolved past thinking those things were funny and that there was a reason why people had to go far and dig for them. Now, if I've not said this out loud in my videos a ton of times, I've definitely said it, in the comments. I'm also wearing headphones. I should take these off. But if I have not said it in the videos, I've said it in the comment section, right? Edgy humor is far too often used to cover up for hateful rhetoric that they want to portray in a way to gain support for these thoughts and actions. And when people don't dig deeper than that about anything, I really feel like there's a problem. Does everything have to be deep? No, for sure. However, when you're trying to make beating your girlfriend funny, there's some soul searching required, I think, because it's the level of gruesomeness and shocking portrayal is more so of a shock value attention seeking action rather than a display of humor. And to have equated it as a past sense of dark humor, I think is misunderstanding the flack that you got. I'm saying you because I feel like Kevin's gonna watch this. Maybe, I don't really know. Maybe he just clicked on my video, commented, and bounced and didn't actually watch it. If that's the case, it is what it is, I suppose. But if you are watching, Kevin, I'm talking to you. If you have something that drastic and aggressive, the way to denounce it as dark humor is the problem. That's the problem that people have, is that this keeps happening. And when people keep denouncing these things as dark humor, the cycle just continues. So that was a problem I had with criticism. Next, there's a section on the Discord server. Now talking about like that there allegedly were like minors on it or something, and then like people weren't getting vetted properly. This is why I don't have a Discord. Because I don't side with Kevin necessarily, but these things are really hard to control, and you need like a whole team. And you're obviously, if you're not responsible, if you don't create a team for it, that's necessary. But like, I wouldn't do it. Personally, that's why I don't have one, because I just think there's going to be too much trouble going on, and I'm not big enough to hire like moderators and stuff. So I just don't currently have one, but Kevin needs to think things through. The thing is too, Kevin and I are the same age. If I've thought, and I have a way smaller platform than Kevin, so if I've thought these things out prior, it makes me doubt the seriousness that he takes for these things if he hasn't even touched on these thoughts in his head.
After the DV videos were brought to light, people were bringing up minors in my Discord server. I believe I created the Discord server in December of 2021. I created it with the intention of having supporters of mine all hang out in the same space. It was recently brought to my attention that people in my server, minors in my server, were in the introduction channel talking about, hey, I'm 14 from Illinois, I'm 16 from Wisconsin. I take full responsibility for that. Regardless of my lack of knowledge on the situation or me feeling like the server was moderated enough, clearly that's not the case when there's minors telling people what state they're in. It does give easy access to people of pedophilic nature to message a minor. I have a
because like, I know I have more YouTube subs than Kevin, but like the followers on TikTok, for example, it's like, because if you brought together every follower of mine, I get about 26,000, give or take, right? So it's like not even close to like Kevin had like 1 or 2 million on TikTok or something like that prior to getting banned. So it's not even remotely close. So if you have over 1 million followers and you don't think to have like a team for a Discord, and instead you're kind of just trying to take like a kind of laissez-faire approach, that doesn't make sense. Like that you're not thinking of that, and to just be like, I wasn't responsible enough is a strange way of like kind of just denouncing it again and just like kind of patting it down, because like that's obvious, I feel like, especially in this age, and the fact that we're the same age. And I understand that I cannot entirely base my experiences on somebody else's, and that maybe I'm just like a responsible 22-year-old or something cringe like that. But at the same time, it's like, that's like one of the first like quote unquote like rules of content creation. Like that's like one of the things that like when I've talked to other people that are content creators, they mention that too. And it just surprised me that this section's only like it's not even 2 minutes long too. It's like, oh, I just wasn't responsible enough. That's the thing too. It's like he thinks that if he admits that he wasn't perfect in a situation, that's enough. It's done. And I think that's why there's still jokes on TikTok about it. I can insert I had a TikTok at the end of my last video, I'll put it in again, that shows this kind of feeling here that people have.
On barrel. The perfect time to bring up that I used to say the N-word.
Bro, 난다요. What you mean is the perfect time to bring it up?
Well, would you look at the time?
No way, it's 5:30. You guys want to know what I used to say? POV, I'm female gazing at you. If it was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go.
So then he gets into the racial comments discussing that the area of New York that he lived in, saying the N-word was very normal and he didn't know anything about that he shouldn't say that until he was out of college. This is another one of those things where I can't comment on unless I'm self-inserting. I will say I grew up in like a weird hick area where people would love to say slurs, and the white kid still knew it was bad. I guess, but he says because he's Arab, that the community is different. But the thing is when you're so white passing, like, is there no overlap there? That's just my only comment on that, is that and the reason that I'm commenting on this in the first place is more so that it's really vague. I'm not necessarily saying it's true or it's not. The vagueness makes it very confusing, because again, the racial comments and the N-word section together is 5 minutes of a 50-minute long video, right? So that's why I'm kind of just like, to kind of throw everything together in like a stack and just keeping like, I'm wrong. Like, cool and good that you're admitting that you're wrong, and I can acknowledge that. But at the same time, this like weird vagueness, and then when it combined with the following sections, I don't think you're creating the connections and taking into account the seriousness of each of these separate instances to the extent that you need it to be. Then he talks about the transphobic content, kind of again just says I'm wrong. The next chapter is literally 15 seconds after the transphobic one, but he kind of just discusses like his identity and things like that. That's again nothing for me to comment on specifically in this circumstance. I don't know. Okay, now we get into Tepuki. I think that's how you pronounce that. So she was one of the most, I believe one of, if not the most popular person to like come out against him. That was like somebody he allegedly dated. Now, here's where I start to get a little bit concerned, because he says that he keeps receipts on women that talk to him because they're going to out him, and then he can put screenshots out to like defend himself.
Let's start in the order the allegations came out. Taylor, Tepuki. If you want full context on everything that she said, you can watch her video. Me and Taylor first spoke in November of 2021. She was a follower of mine. She would pop up in the live streams. I might have made her a moderator in the live streams. I believe before we ever spoke, I commented on her account, and I said, hey, Tepuki, make sure you follow my other TikTok account. Now, how we started speaking on an individual level, she added me on Snapchat. My Snapchat was always in my profile. She was easily able to access that and add me. At the time, I think I was just adding everyone back. She proceeded to send me unsolicited nudes. I caught interest enough to give her my phone number, to which I rarely give out my phone number, but I caught enough interest to give her my phone number. We would FaceTime normally, have conversations. I slowly started to notice every time it was nighttime and she would call me or I would call her, she would initiate the conversation to take a sexual turn, always. There could have been like one time I initiated it or 2 times. Most of the time she would be the one initiating the sexual tension or communicating that she wanted the conversation to take a sexual turn. I had mentioned to her that I had a kink that was more, dark, like not for everybody, definitely. To which she immediately agreed and related to, said, I have the same kink. She went up and down telling me that she was into it, which is how
So first off, he's doing the really fast screenshot thing, which I remember, I think it was James Charles did in the No More Lies video. So that already red flag.
It was coming off as very controlling. Here's a screenshot of me texting my friend Alyssa during the time I was speaking to Tepuki. I believe in the screenshot I said it's only been 1 week and she's acting like this. Big red flag right there. As Tepuki,
when you keep having, there's a common denominator across a lot of these conversations, is you brought me to this point from these women. They're like, you're such a piece of shit. You've gotten me to this point. Something along that line, right? The way I described this in this video was a little bit too victim blamey in like how I put it together. So I'm going to try again. I think Kevin is valid in having these experiences, and I think it was brave to come forth with these experiences. It's just kind of confusing the way that he stifles blame, and that there's a lot of commonalities, despite the fact that he also was like kind of in a mocking tone with his friends about the way these women were in the screenshots. And he keeps just saying that he just kept going with it. and the fact of like the sexual nature of these exchanges to suit this sort of kink. That was where my concern is, but I'm having trouble stating my thoughts on this in a way that represents what I'm truly thinking. So please take that with a grain of salt. Because when you have receipts on receipts on receipts of these women's meltdowns that you're just sharing with people online and just digging up all their garbage, and I understand they came for you first. I get that. And they might have been in the wrong. That's fine. But there's something going on there that's quite strange. Like it was giving me like an uneasy feeling. You know, I've been in a lot of situations where I've seen people react very poorly to past partners and talk about things too much online. And I'm just getting that like tight feeling. Like the women know what I mean when it's like you're on the bus and a guy keeps looking at you too many times and like he's like moves closer to you. And then you're trying to figure out, like, where you're going to get off. You know that feeling you're getting where you're like, ooh, there's danger. That's what I felt. That's my feelings. Those could not be everybody else's, and that could be a projection of my own insecurity. I'm just stating, again, this video is just for, like, my feelings and reactions to this. So he calls Tepuki unstable, says she would cut herself in dedication to him. Doesn't really show proof of that specifically. I get, but that could be, again, because it's gory, which is fine. But there's a lot of, like, there's too many commonalities between it. And then he talks about his sexuality, that he's pansexual, and that's none of anybody's business. That's fine. There's just, I think you can't just do exposés on everybody back as a means of clearing your name. I don't think that's constructive. And I think what you've done is taken people that have way smaller power structures than you and have just embarrassed them. And with these commonalities, this use of like this quote unquote like kink that's like having people kind of hurt themselves or like belittle themselves. I don't really understand like kinks necessarily like enough to have a conversation about that. But to have that incorporated, then to be exposing everybody in these with like just airing out everything, but then having very little admission of any wrongdoing on your part, and you kept saying I was a toxic partner, but I wasn't abusive. Where's the line for you? Like, let us know, because that's confusing. That's vague. So it's a lot of weird vagueness, and I find like some of the more serious things like any responsibility, the transphobia, the racism, the like, I'm gay, you can't talk to me, all that kind of stuff, that weird, and just god awful, I got him streams to just boil everything down to like, I was wrong. And then in the same thing where you're like, I'm taking responsibility for everything, just pour out all these women's laundry, just all over, and admit to like very little wrong. I was toxic. If you're going to take these people's entire lives and what seems like a couple of like psychotic breaks, or like maybe not, that might not be the best terminology for it, but you know what I mean, like really bad like states of mental health, and throw them out on this video with 25,000 views, and then just say to yourself that you're toxic. Very strange. I'm gonna watch it again in editing, obviously. If I'm wrong, I'll insert clips and I'll do voiceovers wherever needed. But that's what it feels like. And I don't think Kevin did what Kevin was looking to do. And I think by the response, it's kind of interesting. People will call anything offensive dark humor so they can say what they actually want while saying it's a joke. That's one of the comments as well. Right? So people are like happy with the receipts. That's fine. Like I said, mine might not be the popular opinion. Take what you want with this. There's like no negative comments at all. And like every video has negative comments. So that's my other thing that's a little bit sus. Could be wrong about that too. This is just a lot of like my opinions from like seeing a lot of these things happen. And I might get like dislike bombed for this, or people don't agree with me. That's fine. Like I said, it is a big step to just go forth and admit to things and kind of align with where you were. And it's just a little bit confusing as to the vagueness and this, like, I will bring forth every single thing on these people when the TikToks were pretty short. It didn't go into crazy detail. It's just recording phone calls, and it just feels too private. Like, I would be very upset. And I understand they came for him first. I just feel like a lot of these things can be more or less dealt with offline if possible, but when it's like they're on uneven playing fields and there's a lot of more complicated things going on. This is if Kevin was a girl too. Like, if it was reversed, I think the same thing. It's weird to like I said, it would just make me feel very uneasy. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Suggest, comment down below. There's an email for that as well. Links, sources, links. I have affiliate links. For those of you who are wondering, I found this out today. Links get 10% discount stacked on 60, and then the code only gets 5. Don't know how that works. All that stuff linked down below. Amazon wishlist to support the channel. Patreon. Thank you to my patrons because I forgot to at the beginning. And yeah, have a happy and healthy holiday season. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.
Walmart. Experience the selections. Experience the savings. Experience D's nuts.